Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun. Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, the 15th, and it's going to be an interesting day. We've had an interesting week. Yesterday, up big. I'll just come over here and show you. I don't have my charts all set up correctly. Well, I'll show you over here. Here's a footprint chart. Man, yesterday, at those lows, some of the absorption areas down here, absolutely insane. I mean, to get like a 10K at any one level is quite a bit. And we had it at, all through here. You can see, and then look on the upside. They kind of took it off, and then all these guys stopping out up here. So it was definitely a case they moved down, came short of the volatility target, then stopped everybody out higher. And now, this evening, or last night, they came back down. It was a pretty easy fall down there, though. Looking, not a whole lot of contracts traded. Building a decent amount of volume right here. Anyways, I need to, let's see here. I need to switch workspaces. Oh, where is it? Oh my gosh. It died. My workspace is gone. That sucks. But we can get it back. I bet you we can get it back. Let's see if we can get it back. Ninja Trader workspaces. Recovery. You see that? Well, we're going to have to close Ninja Trader, huh? Ninja Trader, you have failed me again. How you guys doing this morning, by the way? Also, I can't show it to you yet, but Treasury's up a little bit today. So I'm a little concerned. It's a little experiment I was running. Oh, it actually did give you a good long there. So there you can kind of see the move in the treasuries overnight, kind of just a smooth move up. Okay. So let's see if we can get our quant workspace to show correctly. Much better, yes. Baron Glass, good morning. Hey, how are you? Welcome back. Okay. Well, it's not perfect because we don't want that. And what is with this? Darn it. It's just not what we want, folks. Oh, boy. Okay. Move you over here. Yeah, we leave that one there. This comes over here. comes over here. There's still more. There you are. There you are, my friend. I think we're going to need to do some workspace. What is the word? Reorganizing, but not today. I want to put up some of these indicators on the ES, not really useful, but on the treasuries, very much so. And I would really like to be able to see it on the other treasuries now. So I want to go back to workspace, kind of like where I started. Maybe what we might start dipping our toes into the treasuries a little bit more. Okay, minimize that. Getting closer. That looks like we are getting a little bit of a buy-in down in here, huh? But what is my circle turner set to 4? And my, there we go. I wonder, can I change the font size of the thing on the side separately? I want me to. Nope. Everything has to be the same font size, apparently. That sucks. Let's see here. We get retail sales here in 2 minutes. So we are looking for retail sales, X autos negative 8.6. Expected versus previous of negative 4.2. And where's the other one? Retail sales month over month. Overall, we're looking for negative 12% versus an expected negative 8.4. Okay, so about a minute to go here.
Ian McCormick says good morning. Great content. Keep it up. Question for ya. What are your thoughts for someone who uses NT8 for futures with a scalping game plan? Bookmap or Jigsaw? Thanks, man. Okay, so good, interesting question. So I can't really, well, so first of all, I like Jigsaw more than Bookmap. Just personal preference. But the reason that I like Jigsaw is because it has a good DOM. In my opinion, especially if you want to scalp, the best skill that you can develop is reading the DOM, because everything that you can see in the Bookmap Vista chart type things, you can see on the DOM. It's just Bookmap kind of like really highlights it to you and makes it more accessible to you. But you're going to have a better idea of what it's really doing when you watch it on the DOM. So that's why I like Jigsaw. But that said, this is a Vista chart down here. This is Ninja Traders. Okay, here's the news. Hold on. Retail sales X autos negative 17.2 versus an expected negative 8.6, and retail sales month over month negative 16.4 versus an expected negative 12. Ooh. Okay, wait. Do we have? No, we don't. Okay. Yeah. So, anyways, their Vista chart in Bookmap is better, and there are some things that Bookmap can do that are quite nice, and I know a lot of people that really like it, especially if you're trading in the E-mini, right? So, in that respect, I think that Bookmap is better. Another thing to consider is that Jigsaw does have charts coming. In fact, based on some posts that I saw Pete make on the forum, it sounds like that beta for charts might start in a month. So it may turn into that at some point you just ditch NinjaTrader and just use Jigsaw. Whereas I'm not so sure what you do with Bookmap. But again, I don't use it, so I can't say. So that's the best I can say. Ace, how have you been? Have you been Ace
doing well?
Trades says, hey, bro.
Yeah, have you had some success this week? I haven't really been following your signal a whole lot.
Ace Trade says just came in to complain, my boss is now wanting me to open the room on Fridays, so I can't even come in here and catch up.
But has your signal been working good for you? Because I watch it. I still have a hard time knowing which ones to take. You can't take it every time it happens, that's for sure. Okay, right here. I've been scalping for a point lately, just using the Dom.
Ace Trade says yes, it's been a good week.
It's been a good week. Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta figure out how you do it, because sometimes
Ace
it's
Trade
really
says
bad.
agreed, it's kind of picky.
It's kind of picky. You've got some other special sauce, dude. That it would behoove you to figure out what it is. This is the thing that, like, some people can just see and know intuitively.
Ace Trade says 3 tick stop is a thing of the past.
Oh, is it?
Ian McCormick says awesome. Thank you, good sir.
How
Thank you
big
for
of
all
a-
you do for the retail guys and gals.
Hey, thank you.
Cheers. Gary Rich says at Ace need a new boss.
Are you still? So have you've increased your stop then, I guess. No, they don't want to go and get me. I think I would take me off break even there if I was allowed under rules now. Did we? No, we did not. Moved a little bit, but not really. In the 10-year. Actually, when you look at it in the yes, it's not really a.
Ace Trade says at Gary Rich I know, right? But the steady income is nice, I don't even have to trade to pay the bills. Less pressure to make surgical trades. Multiple sources of income now.
That's good. That is good, Ace. By the way, Gary, I really want a book to read this weekend. Like, if you can just give me the name of a book that you think I should read, because I'm been a little bored. I'm in novelty seeking mode is what I think it is. I just want to. I've been looking at, like, different kinds of charts and stuff just to kind of.
3
because I
Idet
think I'm
says it's
bored.
set slightly smiling face hash book.
Yeah. I want something complicated, you know? It's like what I was saying to Ace. Like, somehow Ace knows when his signal goes and he just needs to just take the quick profit. And sometimes he knows when to let it run. And none of the models or anything that I have can really tell me that. And I really want to figure out what it is that Ace looks at to kind of
Ace
put
Trade
into
says at
essence
Gary
how he
Rich
does
bragging
that.
a bit, but he pays before payday some days and throws bonuses in at times.
That's
He
cool.
wants to keep me happy. Ian McCormick says just got about halfway through Dark Pools.
Ooh,
My
got
gosh,
it.
mind blown.
Oh yeah, well, we used to, when I worked for Goldman Sachs, a lot of the work that we did was in the dark pools. Mm-mm-mm. Cool, that one was easy.
Block by.
Interesting, in the treasuries. So they went down there to touch the low in the ES, and the treasuries kind of
Block
flipped
by.
out. Treasuries kind of flipped out, but then the equities bounced. So now it's just going back and forth. Wow, there is something happening there. Oh, I don't know if that one was a good hit. Yeah, let's see, it could break even on it, but oh well. I don't think I've been cautious enough about my picks so far. This action in treasuries may be a harbinger of something to come in the equities, but for now it looks like the equities want to move up. See, that might be an okay spot, but no, it's too easy for them to move up. Hmm. It looks like they're gonna want to try and push it up there, but why does that OV load there? That doesn't make much sense. No, well, whatever. Oh, you know what? Over here in ES, I was like, hey, I don't have as much room as I thought I should. Don't need that. Don't need that. Gives us a little bit of room. I could probably add the profile ones too. Well, let's just try adding LTQ.
Ace Trades says anyway, check in with you later. Have a great day and weekend.
Okay, dokie. Thank you very much, Ace. Thanks for people were asking about you this week, so thanks for stopping in. That is a pretty big bump up in volume right there at 28.15. That makes this hard to scalp this. At least short. You know, like I could pick it up there. It's a little slow though. Hmm. I think that one in treasuries we should bail on.
Junior says good morning everyone.
Nope, nope, nope. Ooh. Well, we may get lucky on that one. I don't know. I don't know. Man, so the ones that we've taken so far? Yep. Off and off, haven't gotten a run yet. Oh, that was a bad. Wasn't the best pick. Hmm. So, sellers having trouble finding market orders? They were able to push it down there and then it stopped. Yeah. Hmm. This area is a little bit too wishy-washy. This one. We might get it, but it's being a little wishy-washy.
Janice JJJ says, hey bro.
Hey bro, how are you? Bruh. Oh, I'm noticing that off of that data, well, actually, really more earlier than that, but it really accelerated after the data. The euro is moving up, and the U.S. dollar is getting hit.
Janice JJJ says, I'm good and how are you? Long time no see.
Yeah. I mean, the name is familiar. It's been a while. I've kind of been, back and forth. Actually, this week has been a good week. Been doing this, and
Ian McCormick says, thoughts on China, U.S. tensions? Is this just
yeah, I don't
inflammatory
know.
rhetoric from the East or something actionable that could damage the economy further?
Well, I think that the treasuries may be the reason that they moved up overnight is because of that stuff. So, uh, I think that it has to be something that we pay attention to. But I don't know. It's kind of like we're in the middle of a global pandemic and we're going to pick a trade war. I don't know. I think that China appears afraid to me. Like it seems to me that China did something really really bad, and everybody knows it, and it's only a matter of time before it comes out, and they're kind of doing their natural instinct to, you know, like a cornered animal or something like that, which is kind of like, well, what are you gonna do? I don't know.
Ian McCormick says, LOLOL retweet.
I need to put this over here so I can watch. Treasury's coming back there. I don't know if we can make it to the bid or not. Cool. Let's see here. Forex Live tweeting something here. Looking at the crosstabs, it looks like clothing, in particular, sporting goods, clothing, restaurants, vehicles, and furniture is absolutely decimated. Oh, yeah. Who would buy furniture right now? Negative 58.7. Some of these are negative 60. Electronics and appliance stores, negative 60. It's pretty ugly. Pretty ugly numbers. Nah, that one was too tepid. I saw him pushing back, but it wasn't enough. Kind of got a two-sided profile here now. That one was an okay direction wise, but not a good price. And then it died out too quickly. It's gonna bounce back up. How much have we traded down here? I need a new chart. Oops. Let's see here. 460. I'll fix that. Okay, it's not actually that much. It does seem to be an imbalance, though, that buyers are trying to buy it up. Darn. Probably not enough activity for me to be taking as many trades as I am. So with that one, I'm going to take a step back a little bit. That's 4 down. Wait. On the Daily Carl or Joe Biden, if they believe Tara Reid, they probably shouldn't vote for me. I wouldn't vote for me if I believed Tara Reid. What? What, Joe? This this campaign of Joe Biden is such a disaster, man. It's funny that they really are lucky that everybody is talking about the virus, because if they didn't, it would all be about how big of a disaster his campaign is. Like, seriously, if the media had picked that up as the main story, it would have been relentless. He really lucked out. Well, I guess we're kind of right at the news price. Buyers do seem to be petering out. Oh, that was no good. Mm. And a decent amount of absorption there at 20. My treasury's not showing the support either. There's this. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see if it flips.
Daniel Jardin says hi all.
Hello, Daniel. How are you? That's a new name too. I don't know. I took this on like a very, very small signal. Yeah. There we go. Look at that. They took out a 2000. But the equities over here are trying hard. Well, I don't know if they're trying hard. They're just kind of cruising along. Okay, so now there's an iceberg at 17 in the 10-year. I mean, they're trading 300s in here. In ES.
Kevin Wimmer says, did you consider getting Eurex data just for the bund? Saw some videos of the Axia guys and they really like the bund compared to other treasuries.
Yeah. Well, so I think that they like the bund because you get, I mean, it's still thick, but you get something that behaves a little bit more like the E-mini because the way that it's priced isn't so thick. But I mean, getting the Eurex data would be a lot, and I don't really feel like that it's that effective in the evening. Or sorry, it's that effective. It's that worth having during the time that I trade. That is. A lot of it might be that they're just more familiar with it, right? Okay, what's going on here? Hmm. Have those all been sells? No. Some of them were sells. There was a buy. But why is the treasury ticking up? Hmm? If it's so great in the E-mini. Huh. Broke. Oh, come on. You're going to give it to me. Stop playing. Stop playing. There you go. I need to let it relax a little bit because that one's too. Yeah.
Block cell.
At 18, huh? They take in bid again. So they're going into this mode where they're hitting and they're not really absorbing it. So I'm having a hard time picking my spots. This is different.
Guido Sledden says, are you ALOS wathing the other indexes, YM, NQ, on these S scalps? Might give you a heads up sometimes.
You know what? That is actually a really good idea. I think that if I really wanted to focus on that, that I probably should do that. The thing is I'm kind of doing this in lieu of that treasuries haven't been the best trade lately. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say how big of a difference it would make. But I've never opened them up on all together on the DOM like that. Just don't have enough room for all of that. I have one thing I am noticing though is that the book in the E-mini can be pretty random. Like you can see the spots where people are getting in and absorbing, but the level 2 aspect of it is not very doesn't tell you a whole lot. Yeah. So that one I saw that they were absorbing there, but then the next prices were pulling. Basically, I think that what happens is that
Kevin Wimmer says the problem with that is that sometimes there is a clear outlier. Like for instance the Nasdaq pushes super hard and the E-mini fails to break the level. Emo better to take the trade in the stronger. Kevin Wimmer says indexes.
Yeah. Well, I guess what I was getting at is that I think that the arbitrage and correlations in the equities is a little bit stronger, right? Like there's algorithms looking at all of the stocks or all of the different things that affect the stocks and trading it up and down based on that. And the order flow is not really what's pushing it. And so I think that that's why it ends up looking kind of random. You know, because when I look at my order flow signals in the treasury, you can see very clearly, even though we came down here and I got a good signal and it popped up, the book is still offer. Versus in the E-mini, it's all over the place. Right? Now, one
Guido
thing
Sledden says it's pretty random in all indexes ATM.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I think does help is the tick, but we ain't got that right now. Oh, I think this is going to go.
Gary Rich says trade tension back on.
Yeah. We were talking about that a little bit earlier. The thing is it seems kind of bizarre to me. Oh, why do I have this screen up? I need to switch it back. It seems kind of bizarre to me.
Kevin Wimmer says, how are you able to post links, Gary? Is it because you are a moderator?
Yes, it's because he's a moderator. Hey, I'll tell you what, Kevin. You've been around for so long, and I trust you too. And I will give it to you, all right? So that you can post links. Oh, so I didn't realize. It won't read out the URLs, so. Yes, okay, yeah. That was a story that I saw too. US places Huawei and 67 affiliates around the world on blacklist. Now, here's another thing about this story that confuses me. It seems to me that like the United States has a very, very legitimate reason to be banning Huawei. And I don't understand why they always use it as the bludgeon for the trade war stuff when based on what they're accusing them of, the the answer should be Huawei is just banned, period. Why is that become the football if they're literally putting spy stuff in everything?
Kevin Wimmer says thanks. Nice, now I can promote Garlicoin, just kidding. I will be a trustworthy German.
Thank you. I don't know. What do you think about that? Do you think that the accusations against Huawei are maybe not as serious as they appear? Yeah, this is not working out. I really thought they were turning back down, and then look, it just kind of doesn't do anything. I'm seeing a lot. So the thing that I find interesting is that the treasuries are doing some things like that they're trading. The treasuries are trading. I know that it was only 2 ticks up and 2 ticks down, but like they're doing stuff. The E-mini just seems so random right now. Like the E-mini looks like it's trading like they're chopping people out, but that they don't really have a real desire to move it to a specific location or a real plan right now. They're just moving around. And the E-mini is in like extreme chop too. No bad spot.
Kevin Wimmer says I wanted them to fake the low before the open to get a quick long, but now it's getting fairly close to the open.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if they're not baiting us into selling it and I'm just falling for it over and over again. It doesn't look healthy.
Gary Rich says Huawei steals IP property. Huawei is in the many systems around the world, including NATO allies. If you can steal it, listen to, and buy those manufacturers' perfect global superpower.
Yeah. I don't. But it doesn't really make sense, does it, Gary? Right? Like, why would the U.S. hold off at all? It wouldn't be related to the trade deal at all, unless they're just using it as leverage in the trade deal. And then once everything is all hunky dory, then they're going to go and hit them anyways. But I don't think that any acceptable deal would be that in any acceptable deal, Huawei is allowed to continue doing what it's doing. So I get a little confused when the trade tensions turn on and Huawei is in the center of it all. That doesn't fit. Hmm. I can see the dollar weakness is still kind of in effect, and that might be part of why the E-mini is moving up the way it is. Hmm. It's also curious to me that when the E-mini looks good, the treasuries start bidding up again. The second time now. Dollar weakness is definitely affecting this market.
Gary Rich says China has its tentacles in so many of our systems, politicans, universities, companies, etc., etc. We've allowed this to occur with no clawback or real way to get rid of the influences of foreign money.
Yeah. Well, it's like this thing where it's like, I think that there was an assumption or a belief amongst many people for a long time that China was modernizing, I guess you could say, and was going to play along with the rest of the world, and that, allowing Chinese businesses to come over here was part of the game, just like allowing US businesses over there. But then when you come back and you look at it, at least with Xi, and maybe it's just Xi, but it seems to me like it's all just a plot, to cement Chinese power around the world and encourage communism. And it seems to me like large sections of the US government and the business community in the United States are still in denial about this going on. But I don't think that China has any intention of playing nice. I think that they want to buy you all out and impose communism. Like they have they have communism the Chinese way is what they call it. That's kind of like a really poor translation of it, but that's what they call it. And like the assumption, or at least what the government says, is that someday they hope to be able to practice real communism, but that they can't right now because that's not the way the world works. So it's really like they got to take over the world first, and then when they control everything, then they can have communism the way that they want. Like that's what they believe. Is based on my research, at least that's what they believe. And people in America are like clueless. Well, a little move higher there in the E-mini. I think when I'm going back and looking at it, I took way too many trades there before the open. Especially when my read was looking kind of flaky, So let's see here. Starting from, okay. I just want to keep track and see if I do better in the regular session.
Gary Rich says it goes back to Nixon opening up China to democracy.
Yeah.
Figuring communism would be defeated by capitalism. Each admin has allowed the dragon not play fair and steal their way from the world.
So now here's the other thing, and this was what we kind of talked about. I don't know if you were around when I said this, Gary, but why now in terms of trade tensions? Why now? Because it seems to me like the key thing on everybody's mind is a global pandemic, and I'm wondering, is China just doing this to distract us from their role in the outbreak? That they know that it probably did originate from that lab in Wuhan, and they're just trying to prevent everybody from figuring it out. It's like a cornered animal. They in denial. Like I've noticed this thing about communists that there can be some situations where like the world is gonna figure it out, guys. Like if China did it, we're gonna figure it out. They're not. Nobody's just gonna be like, forget about this, right? Like it's upended their entire life, and if there's like real evidence about where it came from, like they're not gonna stop. They're gonna find it, and yet they still think that they can hide it. So mind-boggling, bizarre to me. The smart thing to do would be to say, yeah, we screwed up, and just put it out there and be honest about it. But I guess they can't do that. So I'm wondering if that's related, because the trade war tensions right now don't really make a lot of sense. Like the timing of it. Now, on the other hand, another thing is that it doesn't seem like the equity markets care. It used to be, when any kind of a headline like that came out, the markets were super triggered about it. And the treasuries appear to be a little bit triggered by it, but the equities, I don't think that they care. Good job. So on the way that I got filled there, do you notice it went 2 ticks beyond me? I kind of wonder. Stop run. If I could get this chart over here to show me the stops, I think that could be useful. It might show me something that I should be able to already see anyways, but I'm just too dumb to see it, you know? Oh, are we near the previous day's open? 28.20, yeah. I remember that price.
Kevin Wimmer says, how about adding volume, the vertical one?
Did this chart over here? Sure, if you like. In fact, let's get rid of the tick on this one, because like honestly, that close the tick is like completely useless. And we can come in here and we could add we could add just regular volume.
Kevin Wimmer says yeah, you should probably see an increase in volume when someone gets stopped out.
That might be. So we can do volume, and then let's add also Sims delta. Let's not do it with cumulative delta. Let's just do it like that. Okay. Oh, you know what? We gotta fix something here. Indicators. Okay, so I want the volume to be on the one range. I want the delta to be on the one range too. Well, we'll try it. We'll see what it does. There we go. Okay.
Gary Rich says with this event maybe the world will re-examine their relationship with China via economic, tariffs, financial, manufacturing means. Things will change. It's just a matter of time.
So that one right there, that was the sweep, I think. Because the volume came in on the first one. If you really zoom in on it, you can see that the volume came in on the first one and not down at the bottom where people were getting stopped out. We'll zoom it in really good so we can try and examine it. The problem that I'm seeing is that the number of stops seems to be too small of a percentage of the overall volume that I'm actually seeing there. Like there was probably like 20 or 30 contracts stopped out there, but the whole impulse that got them to move into me was like, a couple hundred contracts. So I think that what I would see if I could see something that was like number of stops, that I would see some here and maybe here and then here, maybe not so much. And then maybe here.
Kevin Wimmer says at Gary Rich I gave up on Germany. We are way too scared to do anything about China. Same goes to other countries. Except USA, Australia, sometimes Canada and maybe now the UK.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that with Germany, I don't think it's that they're scared. Like I said, it's like in denial. See, they have this idea in Germany, and I think that this goes back much further, because these ideas in the United States are recent things. But I think that this is what Germany has always wanted, going all the way back to Bismarck. Is kind of this. I don't want to call it collectivism, but that the world is all in it
Claudio
together.
Ibarola says hi.
They're very much that idea appeals to people in Germany in a way that it doesn't in the United States. And so to them,
Claudio Ibarola says in 5 minutes retail sales.
Oh yeah. We're going to get no. We got consumer sentiment at the top of the hour, and we got the open in a few minutes, but I don't see. I think the retail sales that you're talking about, we already got. You maybe, if you're using, you know what? I'm going to make a wild guess here, Claudio. But if you're using Forex Factory, right here at the top where it says the time, you can come in here and click it, and it will give you things. And you might have like daylight savings times off or something like that. And so that's why it's giving you an hour back. But the retail sales were pretty bad. Pretty bad. Especially some sectors were like super crazy negative. Just a guess. Anyways, so I think that Germany is being too nice to them for, ideological reasons. But even with them, there would be a certain point at which they would have to say, wait, China's out of control. And here's the thing you got to remember. Like, in terms of like trying to predict how things will go with communists, right? So you got to remember that communists are extremely ideological and that they control information. And so they aren't really, they aren't really working off of reality, off of real facts. It's just like in the Vietnam War, the North really thought that they could just outright beat the South, that they could just, defeat the Americans. And it never happened that way. So what would happen is you would get these huge offensives from the North. They would attack the South in like big, huge offenses, and they would lose so many people. And they thought that they were just going to waltz in and just take over and liberate the South, and then they would get demolished over and over and over again. And it's the same thing with China. You're going to see where they're going to make a move, and they'll think that everybody will just kind of stand by and watch them do it. Like they'll make moves in the South China Sea or something like that, or they'll make a move against Taiwan, and then the rest of the world will be like, no, 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 no. Like you finally pissed me off too much, you know? Okay, so quite a bit of movement there going into the open.
Claudio Ibarola says thanks, I was wrong with my calendar time.
Aha. I was right. Hey, it's just like I've done all of those things too. While this is going, I'm going to skip the first little bit of this, all right? I feel actually maybe not. But let's make sure that we have our pen up. I was gonna say I feel like that where I'm at is kind of the spot where like uh I'm not like in the top echelon of traders or anything like that, but I'm at the spot where everybody that's kind of in the retail zone, I've been through that, and I know where they're at, and I can help them at least get to the spot where you're, you know, not completely clueless, just sort of clueless. Okay, so here it comes. Open. Dun, 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 dun. Bit of buying there. Overall, it looks like more buying than selling. No fill. Fill on the other way. Lame. Nope. That one's a little flaky. Being a little flaky there. All right, cool. Hmm. Whoa. Nope. Not a good pick right there. Which should have been right there. Same man. Fuck. Tough. Rough day. Hmm. Let's let them, because I don't like those impulses that are coming in all over the place. So let's kind of look at the bottoms of these. You see that is an impulse comes in and pushes it. That one might have been stop outs. No. Come on. Guess not. Can't catch a break today, man.
RJ Wheel says, what trade did you take?
Ugh. Well, I was doing a couple of longs up there, and then still kind of got this bid over in the 10-year too. Which I'm not like I the thing is like what I saw when I took that one in the 10-year was like such a tiny thing.
Daniel Jordan says, what do you think about trading during the afternoon?
I think that the sort of things that I look for tend to not work very well in the afternoon unless you're trading like the last 30 minutes of the close. No, that's wrong. Okay, well, maybe I get lucky. There were some things about that I didn't like. That particular push into the lows was a little pathetic. Yeah, they're going to bounce hard here. Ooh, he stopped it. He stopped it. Okay. So they were about to create a pivot low on the 1-minute chart, and then this huge sell order came in and just totally killed it. Yeah, when you look at the volume over here, pretty random. Pretty random. I missed that one. happy with that one right there. Now, I had this other chart up earlier. Where did I put it? There it is.
Bot says hand waving.
How are you, John? Are you bots?
Bot says new chart stuff I see.
Oh, well, they were saying I was talking about some areas where I saw some orders that appeared to stop out. Somebody was saying, well, so why don't you see if there's like a volume spike there? So here on some of these there actually have been. But more often than not, what I'm seeing is the spike precedes it. So it's actually somebody creating an impulse and stopping people. But I was coming over here and looking at the my 1 hour footprint to see how much they're trading compared to, say, yesterday. And I'm noticing that there is a significant amount of market buy orders up in the 22 area. And you can kind of see where they've developed a profile for it and everything. Ooh. I'm going to try and let this one run a little bit. Okay. Too much volume there.
Bot says I see it. Gary Rich has joined us again this morning, hand waving.
He was worried about you, Gary. Honestly, he was. I mean, he didn't say anything. He just said, "Oh, where's Gary? No Gary today." But I could tell. He was a little concerned. We were all, you know. But I just said to myself, I was like, because I have like strange attachment issues, you know. I was like, he's his own person, and he's a good guy, and he'll do whatever is best for him. But we're glad that you came back. What's Brannigan Barrett saying? Question of the day. Throughout 2018, U.S. and China were embroiled in a trade war. What did stock markets do in 2018? Again, in 2019, continuation of the theme with the eventual paper deal that's never been enforced. Stock market 2019, does trade war matter in the medium/long-term horizon? I see. Oh my gosh, wasn't even paying attention to my treasury trade. That was a disaster. Let's give this a little bit of room.
Bot says VIX calculated ranges for the ES this morning, plus 50% 2850.85, plus 100% 2880.96, minus 50% 2790.65, minus 100% 2760.54.
Oh, they're definitely going for the up one. Wish that I had taken my second contract off right there. It's okay. Interestingly enough, the tick wasn't like crazy overdone right there. Look at the treasuries are just getting slaughtered. They're going to come all the way back. How has my... Well, it's been actually okay. That's curious. So even though we moved up there, but when I look at tick and things like that, it's still kind of like a wash and just kind of in the middle. So I wonder if the reason that we moved up there strongly was because of pushes from leaders like Apple, and that the rest of the market hasn't come along quite yet. And that might sound like a negative thing, but I actually think it means that if we do go back up to the high, that there's plenty of room to go up there to our 2850 target. Now below is 2790. Okay. Well, it's kind of turning choppy here. Yeah, you can see when they just even get like a little bit of a buy impulse, it goes quite easily up.
JB says, so I have a dumb question. I hear about algo and big boys running stops. If I have an order out there, can they tell the difference between a stop loss order and a stop limit profit order?
Supposedly, if your order is a stop order, there is a way to tell that it is a stop order and not just a regular market order. They can't necessarily tell that you're entering a position or not, but they could assume that if you're taking a stop market order, that you're probably exiting a position. But as far as I understand, they can't actually see that it's you even. They can just see that there was a lot out there that bought X amount at this price.
JB says, well, that seems criminal.
Well, supposedly the data is available and we can see that if it's a stop order. Now, that doesn't mean that they can see resting stop orders. It just means that
JB says, thanks. That helps me plan my
does
stops.
that make sense? I don't think that it means they can see resting stop orders. But what they can do is they can see when you get stopped out and it becomes a market order, they can see it that that order that hit the market was created by a stop. Is my understanding of it right now. I don't think there's any way to see resting stop orders, and there really shouldn't be. That would be not fair. That would if it was like that, then nobody would use stop orders, and that would really screw with the markets. So I don't think that they would ever allow that.
JB says, oh, not worried about that, as that is not running the stops, that is an after the fact.
Yeah. Nah, I don't think that they can see where they are, but I think they can guess where they are. I think that if we could see on the DOM here or on a chart here where there was a higher number of stop orders, we might be able to, game out and predict where the stops are most likely to be. And I think that it would be very instructive. But I can't see it. Supposedly, there's a way to do it. And we have a discussion thread about it on Futures.io. Pete actually talked about it yesterday. Okay, there's 1,000 there at 28.30. Pete was actually responded on the thread yesterday, but his response was basically like, well, you're not going to see resting stop orders, so why does it matter? But I don't think he was understanding the point, so hopefully he reads it again and he goes, oh, okay, I could see why maybe you would want to see it now. Because I want to look at it after the fact, and I want to study where they happen. And I want to study what tends to happen when there's a higher percentage of stop orders in a move. Or if it's just noise. I guess the best case situation would be that it ends up being mostly noise. Then that means that maybe the markets are not as predatory as we think. There's definitely some absorption up in here. When I look at it on my chart, it's not like huge amounts. Yeah, I think we can. Okay, cool. Cool. Jeez. So now we're seeing 1,000 at 35. That was a really fast 5 points.
Bot says
wasn't it?
ZB busting a new low for the full session.
Yeah, and the treasury's just getting destroyed, obliterated. In retrospect, it was really quite stupid that I had a bid out there. Now maybe it would be appropriate to try and buy in the treasuries. But I think what happened was, I think that somebody was taking was hitting into them in the treasuries with the expectations of pushing the markets down, and they just didn't get enough people to join them, and they puked. That must be part of it. You can now pre-order Thomas Sowell's new book, Charter Schools and Their Enemies. You know what? I really like Thomas Sowell, but that subject doesn't particularly interest me right now. That just keeps going, man. There's 937. They're just trading a huge amount of contracts here, man. I guess it's Friday and there's a lot of open interest in the options, huh?
JB says any recommended books, classes to learn C# Ninja Trader coding? I hope to get back to porting my code this weekend.
I don't know. So like, maybe I need to go and look at key C# concepts, because the thing is to make Ninja script code, especially the things that like 99.99% of you guys are trying to do in Ninja Trader, you really don't need to know a whole lot about programming to do it. You just have to remember the key things, and just copy and paste code from other things when you forget the syntax, and then just change it to what you need.
JB says agree.
So I don't know if books are really the thing. Like, a book would probably be overkill. But I think the thing where you might have issues is what are you porting it from? Were you porting it from ThinkScript? So I think the difficulty
JB says TradeStation.
From TradeStation, from Easy Language. You should send me, if you go into Discord. Listen, I'm a little bored right now. Actually, I'm probably going to spend a lot of time this weekend working on my yard. That's my plan. Going to come after work today. I'm going to mow the lawn, and then tomorrow I'm going to try and take care of them rocks on the side of the house so that we can build our path over there. But I might have some time. But if you're comfortable doing so, I would just post a script in the programming channel and put out there that you're trying to convert it. And the thing is if people actually can see what you're looking at, then you get a lot more help. One of the problems I see in the programming channel is there's a lot of conceptual stuff, and we don't actually get into, okay, here's the piece of code. So I'm not too familiar with TradeStation, but you're kind of where you run into issues is where they handled certain things differently. Like a good example with ThinkScript is that in ThinkScript there can be like negative bars. Like, you can do something to a bar that hasn't been written yet. And in Ninja Trader you can't really do that. There's only like one situation where you can access a negative bar, and it's not really very useful. So that's where I think a lot of people get messed up trying to convert stuff. But the other thing is that, again, like, if it's just an indicator that's just calculating a value of some sort, then it's not hard to convert them. And so if you just post it in the channel, I can probably, or me or somebody else will probably help you do it. But it depends on, is it really that, needs to be a secret? Because everybody wants it to be a secret. Although I have to tell you, so here's another pet peeve of mine.
JB says I finally found an error as to why my indicator is not showing up in the system. It's stupid as it won't load the code as it errors saying I am trying to use a bar before the hash of bars are loaded.
That is the most annoying thing.
JB says which I would never do in practice.
I totally know what you're talking about. Yeah, so you always have that Ninja script output window open, and then if an indicator doesn't load the way that you expect, go and look at that output window. You can see mine will always output a couple of little things, right? Here on this one, my thing that exports things to a CSV, I have it on 2 ES charts, and I can't find where the second one is. And so it's always trying to do the export when it can't. Okay, so I think guess not. Here's where I take it off. That should put me positive now. Yeah.
JB says yes, very annoying.
The thing the thing that you're gonna find is really annoying is that it doesn't give you any indication of where it's happening. They have the ability to say to do the stack trace and say what line it's happening on, but they just say, you're accessing a bar that doesn't exist yet. So you can't. So this is where you probably need to attach it into the debugger, and then it'll instantly show you where it is, and you'll be like, oh, duh. Oh man, I could have gotten a little bit higher than that. Well, I was right about the tick, but it's kind of in the middle again, so that I guess it could move up again. I don't know. The treasuries look like they've turned, though. Reading a few things here. Mm-hmm. Gold is the optimal possible China-U.S. trade war escalation hedge. Mm-hmm. If you are Gary Norton, if you're interested in understanding the reality of using charts, I am rewriting my first book, which examines technical analysis in detail. I'll be giving it away for free as I want traders to understand how flawed technical analysis is. Okay, so there was another impulse. So I could have held it. I guess I could have held it. But I think it's still appropriate to take it off. Unless I'm really plan on holding it all day. That drift back was a little wild.
JB says I am taking a step back from my main code and just trying to get the shell right. Say is the last bar lower than the previous bar and it's erroring out. It's like I have to build a dumb for loop.
Well, no, probably what you need to do is you need to say at the top of your... Here, I'll show you. I think...
JB says just to account for X bars before I can then move to the main code.
We're going to be coming into this counter trend period here.
Bot says Ninja's help files along with a couple of the specialized websites for C# coding help like .NET Pearls or www.codeproject.com.
Oh yeah, .NET Pearls is good. That's usually I'm just searching See, one of the issues is that I learned in school, so I don't really know where the really good beginner stuff is. Okay, so what would have one? No. This one should have it. Okay. So here's your on bar update method.
Bot says.
It's got a link there. On bar update, and you see right here, if current bar is less than 1, return. So what it's saying is, if it's the very, very first bar that ever draws, because I have to look at the previous bar in order to do anything, I should just return and skip the whole method because I need to have a previous bar. So 90% of the time, just adding that little bit of code there will prevent the error that you're talking about. And I think it pops up to me like almost every time. Like straight up, if you're using a bar, previous bar, you've got to see, look, they came down. I think I was doing the right thing there. I just kind of knew based off of the turns, I guess. Okay, which reminds me, I need another new chart up here.
JB says thanks Bots and Seth, that might just be my light bulb moment.
Yeah, that really made sense, yeah. I'm glad. So I've been testing an oscillator. I'm just kind of wondering if it would have shown something there.
JB says that is essentially the for loop I was talking about. Just much cleaner.
Yep.
Bot says in certain cases the number less than 1 might need to be increased to something larger depending on what indicator you're trying to get data back from.
This freaking thing.
JB says yep exactly.
Did not show one
JB
here.
says it needs to be 1 bar greater than the min bars for my indicator.
See, now that I'm a little bit more aware of the time of day, I'm kind of looking at it like, yeah, they're moving up like they're just going to take off. But why would they do that just in front of the counter trend period? This tends to be a little bit of a choppier area. So a position in this situation doesn't necessarily make sense. So something I'm noticing with my roofing filtered stochastic RSI is that it gives me
Bot
good buy
says, but not
signals, but not
always.
good sell signals. It gives me generally okay buy signals, but not really very good sell signals, like right there. And it didn't really give us one there. So not really very useful in that situation. What was that Ninja Trader complaining about? The unable to get into Journalytics. Sometimes, actually, not sometimes, a lot of times happens. A lot nowadays. They're turning back down again. And the bid's pulling as that happens in the 10-year. Mm, when I look at how far up we've moved this week in the 10-year, and I'm kind of realizing that they could totally just keep, yeah. And in fact, I'm seeing them doing it in the flow. Well, I'll take it there so that they'll turn it around. All right. 5K. Maybe not the best spot.
Bot says news is all out there now, so.
Oh, yes. Forgot about the consumer sentiment. It was 73 versus an estimated 68. Jobs opening 6.191. Inflation expectations 3. Ooh, okay, that's not good. But the Treasury's not really reacting to that. Increased inflation expectations is like one of the worst things that could happen to us right now. I guess 3% isn't like a huge deal, but
Bot says your stream dropping out this morning.
I get a few dropped frames, yeah. I think that it's just your connection to YouTube. It's hard for it to be super reliable. Look at him go. Well, I'm thinking like right here might be okay, but it's kind of close to a time period that I want to trade. Oh, come on. You said that it was 28.50, right? Scroll back up. Hmm. So there's still a good 8 points for them to go. And are they going to do that in the next 2 minutes and then reverse? It's really curious to me they're going so quickly, I guess. But I guess I was kind of making a really, really wild guess on the timing of everything, wasn't I? Mm-mm-mm-mm. Now, on the same hand, what happens if they don't get to 2850 and the counter trend period comes in here? They don't reach their target, and then do you get something like what happened yesterday? When did it turn yesterday? I have to come back and look. Didn't do it until after 8:30. My ear itches.
Block buy.
Oh, shit.
Bot says VIX is still dropping here this morning.
Something's wrong. Why are they doing that? Okay. A little concerned by a few of the things I'm seeing.
Bot says 10:05 Eastern Time was when they put in yesterday's low of the day.
Yeah, but like it didn't actually like really resolve and turn itself until afterwards. So I'm just seeing that it's kind of doing a similar thing at a similar time, right? Strong move, about to hit the VIX target, but not quite, and then the counter trend period comes in. And at the same time, Treasury is kind of doing some weird stuff. And they're going into discovery mode here. Like I'm not seeing a lot of hard absorption. They're pushing through areas. Like right here. Boom. Well, the treasury didn't bid back up. Uh, they fell back down into that area right there at 41, like really quickly. Still kind of holding though. Hmm. Well, they're not just careening through it, but look, there's not nearly as much volume there this time. Okay. Jigsaw complaining about the data again, the journalytics data. We should clear that. Going to be interested to see what happens to this 37 to 34 area. Here we are at the top of it. There was a lot. There was a lot at 36. 11,000. Cool. Was that not amazing? I think that one turned out too well. It's going to have to keep going just to make me look dumb somehow, right? Because that short just was I feel like a really good read. Look, there's the treasuries binning up again a little bit. I need to go back and watch the video. What was I saying at that time? While it was clicking around a lot, I remember that. I remember it was clicking around a lot. There was a little bit of a bid in the treasuries. E-mini was slowing down or hitting high into the tick, which concerned me a little bit. What else? Man, I don't know. This is just an interesting trade. And the big thing was the counter trend time period too coming in. And taking my trade off at 28.35 was a really good pick too. Take it back to the volume node.
Bot says just your usual mumble and something about price discovery starting there.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so bots, this might interest you. So what I'm seeing is when we talk about in the charts, when we see an outside bar and we're saying the price discovery process is starting. But what I see over here is I'll see an area where, man, how can I describe this? Wrong. Okay. Say that I'm seeing a range between here and here on the DOM, and I'll see it over here. Like it'll be like here in this chart over here in the range, right? I'll say, okay, here's a range, right? And what will tend to happen is they'll push into this and you'll see absorption at these prices. Okay. And then it'll stop and it'll bounce back. Right. So it's kind of doing a little bit of that. Okay. But then sometimes, like right there, they'll just kind of slip. Right. So that to me is like discovering new prices. It's like it's a price beyond where the traders are leaning that we're starting to hit into as we go down. And so you can kind of see it. They will start to do it in both directions, right? So they are kind of doing it a little bit right now, but not as extreme as they were, right? When they were doing it that time, you were getting like really strong impulses trying to break these. Right now, I think you're getting a little bit of maybe a little bit of fighting around, but maybe a consolidation. Anyways, and so that's where I was saying, oh, I'm seeing price discovery. Like, got up there, consolidated a little bit, and then all of a sudden I was seeing that on the downside, they were pushing more aggressively into these prices, and they were discovering new prices, and it just kind of worked out on all the way down. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, I mumble. I need to go and get me one of them stream blah 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 Go XLRs so that we got a little bit hotter of a mic, so that when I mumble, it picks it up better. I'll see. Okay, so that right there, strong impulse down from here to here, right? And you can kind of see when they're hitting into this price right here, like they can hit that one. There you go. Again. Okay, now at the bottom of the profile, some absorption right there, right? And it topped them out. So then we'll kind of go back and look when it comes back there. How easy is it for them to discover prices down here?
Bot says new hour open, and we're halfway through the counter trend period.
Right. So anyways, the point is that when these outside bars occur, I'm starting to find that I can predict them. And if you're already in a spot.
Bot says mind the flip.
Right. If you're already in a spot, you can get a good pick. Well, they might turn back up again. I don't see why not. Except for that they're already a little bit overdone. Nah, they got a little bit more. Okay, so I was having another thought while we were sitting here. New range, maybe? I want to look at the tick. I want to see if I can see it turning back and forth. I can. Man, it really turns on a dime, doesn't it? And we're only looking at like 6 minutes here. Let's see, tick. I don't think that a tick chart would do any. Oh, actually, a tick chart does work. I don't know if that's how that works. Same with like, so if I do a volume chart, I don't think it's going to load anything. Yeah. Volume chart, there's no volume for it to work with. Second chart, pretty noisy too. Well, they're still stuck in the profile. For some reason, their range works. What if we change it to a tick, but we make it like a really small value, like 10? You get gaps. Now that's interesting. By range seemed to make more sense, but then what if we do like 100 range? I could probably find some patterns in it if I watched really closely, but I think that what we've got already is probably sufficient. Well, so I think if I come back over here, yeah, okay. So when I look at the two trades that I took that were kind of more, they took more risk on. So here was this one. Yeah, this one right here was pretty good. That one, oh, that was a sell.
Bot says range would make sense given the fractal nature of the data.
Gotcha. Like they fell back down there. I'm a little concerned. Like, I guess I shouldn't say concerned. A little excited actually, because I would really like to see this index close down for the day. If I'm honest, I really shouldn't have a feeling that strong about it, but I kind of feel like this thing needs to be sold. But where was the open? Do I still show it on here? No. What was the open price? 28, 20, 25. So far, this is playing out literally exactly the same way that it did yesterday, but opposite. Well, they didn't cross the open. They came I mean, I think they touched it.
Bot says 2820.50 in S, 2820.25
You're
in
right.
micro.
You're right. Where was I reading 2028? It was 20.5. You're right. It was down here. Oh, why does it say BO? That's interesting. Okay. It's 8:30. Some of the volume trading here looks a little dramatic. Anyways, what was I wanting to look at? Oh yes. So the ones that I took that I um kind of turned more into a midterms trade. 5 against me on one and 8 against me on the other, and then on the other one 0. Of course, there was this one where I took 2 that ended up, well, I didn't move the stop or anything, but that ended up being a disaster. That one and that one was really kind of sucked. And the funny thing is I got this one and I got this one too. I mean, this one right here, I could have held. I could still be into it, right? We could still be in it, but like we would have had a downturn and a back up, and then maybe you go, oh man, that wasn't very good. Maybe you puke there. I don't know. My read about where to get in and out was correct. And I guess just really getting that dom and kind of seeing the back and forth with all of the other things that I look at, I guess helped a little bit. Hmm. Man. Well, I think we can well, we'll just stick. I want to see how this turns out, but I need to take a little bit of a break, so I will be back. Still there, huh? They're fighting hard though. They're fighting hard. There was an inside bar there. I think given the time that probably we're going to move up. Okay. Ouch. So what just happened there? That's pretty rare. And that treasury trade is being factored in there. So it's showing it. There you go. No, no. Darn. Interesting. Well, they're kind of pushing there, but then not quite going yet. Doesn't appear ready to break this range yet.
Analytical Kinetics says looking for S short at levels 2850-2859.
Yeah, well, did you notice they came just short of it? So the way that this happened, I don't think you were here a little bit earlier. AK is we've been talking on Discord, and he's been following the VIX projections too. Yesterday we came just short of the short side VIX projection, and then we moved through the open and we came up. Now today we moved up to the VIX projection and we came just barely short of it, and then we turned down. But this time we didn't quite cross the open. So it's kind of a similar setup, and even the timing of it is the same. But there's been a little bit of divergence in how this one is turning out. Overall, the market looks really tight. Hmm. The other thing is that because today is Friday, I don't 100%. I don't have a whole lot of experience to know if it's any different on a day like today.
JB says yeah feels like a summer Friday.
Yeah, it does. Really does. It really has gone. It really, even though the volatility is high, it really is going into summer mode, isn't it? Like when it goes into chop, it's like really bad.
JB says wait until next Friday before the holiday.
Oh yeah. Because then after that, then it's really dead. But I find that I start to have trouble in May.
JB says I generally either don't trade or try and stop by 10 at the latest.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's ditch this. I do still think it's going to turn up, but clearly in a bad spot where it was. Nope, still no. Ouch. That might be a spot right there, but the index is really turning negative there. And they're making him work for this one. That wasn't like a super bad pick. Just I think that one was. I think that one I can factor into the unlucky category. I guess it was a little bit of a counter trend thing. So right here we should be able to. Well, that's not positive. Nope, they're not. Man, so many in a row there. My read has just gotten really bad all of a sudden. Look at that. Sure. Well, look at it go. Hardly any buyers there now. Well, the treasuries aren't really. I don't know. Wow, Chewy was short from 28.44. This guy in Discord named Chewy has posted a couple of really good trades. But he just got out, and I'm wondering why there. Why there? They're out to get me. ES reversed from 2858 area in pre-market and retraced yesterday's rally. The retracement I projected last night to be over at 2810. 2020 to 25 must hold to confirm this and is a key support. I gotcha. So he is trading larger levels. So he's just holding it until
Bot
it gets
says nice little drop there in ES.
Yeah, that kind of like turned around really fast, didn't it? Damn. Now that it's below that. Come on. All right. Hmm. It makes me an unhappy camper when it comes one tick short on ES. One tick short. Okay.
Block buy.
Oh, come on. So the way that it hit with the multiple contracts, it's all jacked up right now. Thank you. Where was that block buy at? 15. You know what? I need to just have to wing it. See, it shouldn't be putting those on there. take this call. No, it's spam. It's a little curious that they're being difficult here. Like, there's a lot of contracts trading here. It's not like obscene yet, but like there is a decent amount of business going on here. Hmm. Okay. So there is still a lot of business going on here, and they don't seem to be anybody particularly in control, but there is a lot of market buying like below 17. Okay. Come on. Something about that's not quite right. I see. Remember what happened yesterday? First dropped in 30, 40 minutes and rally all the way. We may be seeing the opposite. Are you staring at your DOMs right now? I'm not. I'm looking away for just a bit.
Bot says, are you staring at your DOMs right now?
I think what happens sometimes is you just get out of sync with the market a little bit, and it's really hard to get back into the right swings. You know what I mean? Hmm. When you look, this is me looking at the DOM right here. Jeez. Dog is barking. That dog makes me so mad sometimes. Dang it. Okay. I'm going to take care of it. I can almost see the wheels turning and little puffs rising. Yeah. I'm just not. I think a lot of the trades that I'm taking are kind of random. So, but when one that you really want to work out doesn't work out, kind of sucks. She's all fighting me hard. Oh, you got to be kidding me, right? Well, I got 10 minutes. I'm going to keep playing around, but clearly my read's gone, so. Kevin hasn't taken any trades, huh? Oil has been pretty slow. It seems to me like that the buyers are holding this area. And the thing that strikes me as odd about it is that the amount of volume that is traded in those areas is not that much. Like there's way, 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 way more traded at 28.37, for instance.
Block sell.
Didn't I have a treasury trade on at some point? Oh, that must have been stopped out, huh? Because it was a long. Where was it? Yeah, that was a long time ago. Yeah, this is going to go. Mm-hmm. Hmm. So that was pretty good upturn there, and no panic yet. In fact, quite a bit trading at 28.25. Look, the treasuries are coming down. Okay. Ooh, they're going for that pivot there at 28 or
Kevin
so.
Wimmer says but only started trading 1 hour prior to the S Open.
They're just going to blow it right open, yeah.
Bot says that's what I thought. Bot says when you look slightly to the left of the microphone at roughly eye level. Bot says can almost hear the wheels turning and seeing little puffs of smoke rising from your glare.
I'm going to let it read these all.
Kevin Wimmer says 0 trades so far. Such a boring day for me. My hope lies on the CL settlement. Kevin Wimmer says yeah 8 hours in front of the screen and still flat tongue out, had 2 setups but market made the move before filling me. Happens. Yesterday I also only had 1 trade during the US settlement.
Look at that. The treasuries are turning here. I need to think what I'm going to do today, because I can do some programming stuff and do some open source, and so most of my other things at work are done. So they like us to do open source, but I'm not sure they really have a really good project to do right now. I guess I could try. Didn't get filled. I guess I could try fixing up the text to speech thing and making it a Discord plugin so that we can apply a um, gate to it. Look at the way the treasuries are going. And he's absorbing it away at half. They are going to drop the floor out from underneath of him at 07.5, I think. Let's see if that bid at 07.5 what it does if they tick down. They're loading up at 08. Well, 1 minute. 1 minute to the London close.
Bot says 2 minutes to London close.
It's funny that we'll still read them out sometimes. That was the close. My voice. There we go. Okay. I'm going to let the dogs back in. Much better. Okay. Interesting. But the treasuries are kind of becoming a little flaky around here. I say flaky, like there's kind of pressure both ways now. All of a sudden, it's switching back and forth a lot. They're not sure if they're going to be able to make a new low there, even though there was a ton of contracts absorbed on the offer at 0.5. Okay. They're kind of in an interesting situation in the 1 minute chart with the pivots where they're not making a confirmed pivot low yet, but they're heading for the last pivot high. Like they're really close to it, right? Not so sure they'll do it this part either. So we're kind of messing around with the hour flip is what's going on. Hi, Win. Hope everyone has a nice weekend. Stay safe. And will y'all hit like now? Oh, thank you so much. Yep, you too. Kind of an interesting the wait. It's this trading day is not over yet, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to go here in about 5 minutes, but they are just well, in fact, probably should just get going. Oh, why did they skip 28, 25, 50? That was interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well. Yeah. Well, we'll see how this goes. If they do decide to end up pushing up out of this, the upside target is still 28.50 and they haven't gotten it. So we'll see if they get a late day push for it. But I think now is a good time to shut it down since they do have some things they got to get done and doing. So sorry we don't get to see how this ends up, but I will see you guys on Monday. I'm not sure if we'll do this again next week or we change it up a little bit, but we'll see. So until then, stay profitable, friends.